it happened a long time ago, and it was a man by the name of Old Joe. Okay? But there was something different about Old Joe, because Old Joe was a slave. Can you tell me, Sophie, what a slave is? Yeah? Scary eyes, okay. Well, you know, a slave is one that someone owns another person and tells them what to do, and they have to do it or they'll be punished. Well, Old Joe was a slave, but he got to the point where he says, I'm not going to have other people tell me what to do anymore, and so I'm not going to work anymore, he said. Well, and the owner, you know what he said? The owner, the slave owner, he says, you know what? If he's not going to do any work, he's worthless, so I'm going to sell him. So he took him to the slave trade, and they were going to sell him there. And Old Joe got up in front. He had his chains and stuff, so he couldn't escape. And he was up front, and the auctioneer was saying, who will give me $100 for Old Joe? And Old Joe kept saying to everybody, because there was a large crowd of people out there who wanted to buy slaves. And you know what? Old Joe, he yelled out, and he says, I don't care what you do, I'm not going to work anymore. And Old Joe was a big man with big muscles. He could work really hard. Yeah, but he said, no, I'm not going to work anymore. And then people started bidding for him. Someone said, I'll give $100 for Old Joe. And Old Joe said, you're wasting your time and your money. And so everybody kept saying, oh, 200, and his price kept going up higher and higher. And then there was a man in the back that nobody knew. He said, I will give $15,000 for Old Joe. Whoa, no slave had ever been bought for that amount, and they couldn't believe it. And the auctioneer said, sold to the man that offered $15,000 for Joel. He said, you're wasting your money. I'm not going to work. So the man came back to claim Old Joe and to take him to his plantation or his farm. And he got him into the buckboard with the horses and stuff. And he got him up there, and they started on home. And he kept telling the slave owner, you wasted your money, I'm not going to work. You can beat me, you can do whatever you want, but I'm not working. And so, as they were going down the way, he came to the farm. And there on the farm was a beautiful little house on a beautiful lake with lots of grass and lots of trees. It was a beautiful place. And the man turned to Old Joe and said, Old Joe, this is going to be your house. This is where you live, in this house, this beautiful house. He'd never seen a beautiful place like that before. And you know what Old Joe said? I get it. You're trying to trick me. I'm still not going to work. Even if you give me this nice house and all this thing, nope, not going to work. And then the man says to him, he said, Old Joe, did you think that I bought you so that you could work for me? And Old Joe said, yes. No, I bought you to set you free. You are a free man now. You don't have to work for anybody if you don't want to. And you know what Old Joe did then? He knelt down before that slave owner and he says, I'll work for you forever. You know what grace means? We have a little girl in this church that's name is Grace, don't we? Do you know Grace? Yeah? What does grace mean? It means that we have the favor of God, not because of what we have done, but because of his love for us and his mercy. And that's what the slave owner told Old Joe. And Old Joe knew this man loved him enough to pay that much to set him free. So, young people, remember that. God loves you, and he's had a place for you, and he came and bought you so that you could be free. Okay? You can go back to your seats now.